Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Angie and I'm a 24-year-old cash budgeter. Today we're going to be unstuffing my cash envelopes to help pay off what I spent on my credit cards. I am an avid credit card user and it's really helped me improve my score, get free travel, all the good stuff, and I learned to be responsible with them. At first I wasn't, but then I started doing this method and it's not only helped me pay off extra debt in the past that I was just irresponsible with, but it actually helped me improve my credit score, which I feel like is super important, especially, in the future I'm going to be looking for my own house and you got to have a good credit score for that. So today I'm going to share with you my method of how I stay on track to pay off all the different credit cards I have, making sure that I'm paying off everything that I spend, or at least as close to it as possible, and eventually paying off my miscellaneous debt. Alright, so this is a method I just started recently, so I have a sheet for every single credit card that I have, plus my boyfriend's credit cards, because we do a duo income setup. So I just like to go sheet by sheet, so I'm going to put these to the side. I have a sticky note and a pen because in some of my cash binders I do have sinking funds and I like to move those over to a high yield savings account right at the end of the month. So I'm just going to write down if I have any sort of sinking funds here. You'll see that happen. Another thing that I have are called placeholders. So let's say I was in an envelope and I wanted to move over $100 to the bank. Just so that I could keep track of that, I like to put this in my envelope to make sure I know when I count this, let me add $100 because that's what I have in the bank. So I'll be using a few different kinds. So these are my new micro placeholders that I'm coming out with. These are from Miss Finance. They're her translucent placeholders, and I have 3 100s over here. And I just want to say thank you so much. I love these. They're absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to use them in my setup. And then these are my new placeholders I'm coming out with. They come with my 10K binder bundle, and if you missed that, that's in my last cash stuffing video. You can see me go over all of that. And then these are just my normal placeholders that I have. They're a little higher denomination so that I could keep those cash envelopes nice and tidy. The first thing I like to start out with is sinking funds, because then I have change in my cash tray that I can make in case I need to with my normal purchases. So I'm going to go through my high priority real quick. I have an emergency fund and a car maintenance fund here. And I think I might be able to move some over to the bank. So 1,100, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So not that one. Emergency fund. It's about the same. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, hold on. You know what I probably have money in right now is my annual fees. Yep, okay. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 50, 60, 65. So this is 150 I can move to the bank. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150. So let's go ahead and put that in the tray. So 1, 5, 10, 20. And then we already have 600 in a placeholder. What I can do is swap that out with a 700 and add a 50. Perfect. And then I'll just go ahead and write on this sticky note that I am moving 150 into that sinking fund. And let me quickly move these before we start using them. So I'll move my sticky notes here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. So we still have the same amount in the envelope, but most of the funds are going into a high yield savings account to accrue interest. And then the matte vellum envelope gets to stay nice and thin so that it doesn't break. I know for a fact, I kind of want to unstuff what I spent, but I know I should start with sinking funds because the last time I messed that up. So let me go to my savings challenges. I know for a fact I have money in here that I need to move over, mostly from my 2025 challenge, and then we could get started with my regular spending expenses. So for my 2025 challenge, I have 1,000 already in the bank, so we're not going to count that. 100, 52, 50, 70, 90, 310, 330, 350, 60, 70, 80, 85. So 385. So we're going to do 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 300. And then this is it was like 85 or something like that. But we're just going to focus on this 300 here. So 20, 40, 60, 81. Ooh, I think I miscounted. I think I just caught myself. Hold on. 20, 40, 60, 83. Oh, wow. See, I caught a mistake. Look at me go. Okay. So one more time. 100. This is 200. This is 300. Takes me a second, but we got it. And I just like to make sure I'm always double checking, because whenever there's like a discrepancy in the money moving back and forth to the bank, it gets me kind of upset. So I think what I want to do is move over, let's see. I know I have a 300, but I think I'm going to use my marble placeholder over here. So this is 1,300. And then we have 50, 60, 70, 75, 80, and 85. 1,385, and that sounds about correct. All right, so I think we have enough cash to work with. We don't have any 10s, 5s, or 1s, but I have a feeling it'll all be okay. Let's go in Joe's envelope here. So subscriptions, we're gonna unstuff a 10. And then just to make this process quicker, I have this, if you can't see, I'm going to show you here. On the sheet, I have the amount written and what I actually unstuffed. Sometimes I like to unstuff a bit more because then it helps me pay off the balance quicker. If I do have an outstanding balance on that card, on Apple, I don't. But then any of that extra money can just go into a checking account or anything like that. It doesn't really matter to me personally. So we're going to take 10 out of subscriptions. Then we're going to jump back to his personal spending. So he has 28 plus 17 for rock climbing. Okay, so that is $45. So 20, 40, and 45. $20, $40, $45. Okay, and just like that, we have a 10 and a 5 in our mix, so I'm really happy with that. So then what I like to do is, after I'm done with the sheet, this one just happened to go by super quick, I add up how much I unstuffed, whether it's the real amount or what I unstuffed. Let me just circle these in, and then let's see here. So 10 plus 28 plus 17 equals 55. That way I know when I move the lump sum of money into my checking account or wherever, I could just easily go through my sheets and be like, all right, $55 to the Apple card, however much to the Amex card, and that just makes it a lot more simpler for me because I use a lot of credit cards. All right, so let's move on to our next sheet. We're gonna move on to Joe's Discover card. So that's actually good because we're already in his designated binder. So let's go to right here. He bought a new book, so I'm gonna count that as spending. I'm gonna have to let him know because he hasn't wrote down his personal spending. So he spent 26. So in this case, it's 26, 16, and 7. What does that come out to? 49? Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. I already have an idea. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep this here really quickly. I'm gonna pull out my miscellaneous envelope over here. In miscellaneous, I normally don't have singles. So right here, he has a purchase for $7, I believe. So I'm actually just gonna unstuff a 10. So I'm gonna overcompensate a little bit on miscellaneous. That way I can undercompensate for the other ones and still be in a profit, if that makes sense. But I'll show you the math. So I'm gonna do $10 instead for miscellaneous. So I just wrote that down there. I'm going to circle it in. You can't see it on here. Maybe I can move this to the side a bit so you can see my process. And then when I go into his spending, that way I can unstuff 25. So I'm going to move a 5 and a 20. So 25 I did instead. And then in subscriptions, I can do 15. So we'll do a 20 and then take back a 5. All right, so then let me show you how this math works out. So normally, if I just did the amounts spent, it would be 16 plus 7 plus 26, which is $49. What I unstuffed instead, even though I underpaid, I'm still paying a bit more. So 25 plus 15 plus 10 is 50. So because I overcompensated $3 on this one, I undercompensated $2, and then I ended up paying a bit more to this card. So that's going to be $50 toward Discover. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. I love answering questions about credit cards and just unstuffing in general. I've been using the cash stuffing system for about a year now. So this is like a method that I just recently found out. It took me a year, but I love it. Okay, so he has a few things here. So let's see. He does have a supplements envelope. So I'm gonna have to overcompensate on the, oh, okay, so this is a different tracker style, so that's why I can't do the amount that I unstuffed here, so that's okay. I'm gonna do 105 here for supplements. So this is like a general spending tracker, it's not a card specific, so instead of unstuffed, I just have you write down like what card you pulled it out of. So BC stands for business card, which is a debit, so I'm gonna write just here 105. I'm just gonna make the change on the side because I don't have any singles right now. So 105 in supplements and skincare. I have no idea what that says, but I assume it says beauty, which I don't know where he pulled that from. That's okay. I don't have a beauty envelope, but we're not gonna fret about that. I think for this $60 purchase, I could pull it out of supplements and skincare. So 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Because that was a $60 purchase, so I can circle that in. Circle this in 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Just like that. Okay, and then I think we're done with supplements and skincare. And then for his haircuts, which I believe, yeah, haircut and then color. So that's, I save up for that in a separate envelope, which is over here. So how much was this? It was 110 plus 40, so that's 150, which I should have. 50, 70, 90, 110, 120, 30, 40, and 50. So perfect. 50, 70, 90, 110, 120, 30, 40, 50. Okay. 40 and 50. And then he has a gym membership that came out. For 35, so 20, 30, 40, we'll take back a 5. Okay. And then TikTok shop products, I don't think I have an envelope for that, so I might just tell him that's his responsibility. Yeah, I think TikTok is his because he is a TikTok affiliate just like I am, so I think he accounts for that. So now because I have a business card and cash in here, I'm going to add up for cash. It's 150. So cash 150. Business card is, let's see what I unstuffed. So 105 plus 60 plus 35. So that's 200. So in total, that should be about 350. And then the TikTok products he's gonna have to take care of. It was his first time doing it, so I don't blame him at all. We're gonna move on to the Amex card. And again, this is mostly his purchases. This is where his gas, groceries, and spending money mostly goes to. So what I wanna do first is add up how much we need to pay in groceries. Obviously, I unstuffed some of these at the beginning of the month, so we're just gonna start over here. So let's start with gas first. All right, so 67 in gas. So 20, 40, 60, 80. So we're gonna unstuff 70. So we're gonna take back a 10. So this is 70 technically. So I'm gonna add $3 to just a random gas charge to account for that extra $3. So gas, gas, and gas. Did I miss any gas? No, I'm good. And then if I just unstuff like the same amount that was actually spent, I just don't fill it in just for time. I think I already mentioned that, but whatever. Let's move on to, let's do his spending real quick because I think there's only one. Or actually, I think I might put that, oh, why did I say there's only one? I see like 5. Let's do, I'm not gonna do that one. I think that's gonna come out of car. So supplements has another 10. Let's just go in order. I keep trying to make this easier for myself, but I think it's just easier to go in order. So supplements, 10, very easy. I think that was the only one. Okay, good. So supplements, okay, groceries is finally next. So we have 25, 24, $16.52, I think. That seems awfully low for groceries, but it's fine. So $51.20. $120, and then I'll just add a random $3 to compensate for the extra 3 that I put in. So 28 right there. Bam, taken care of. $16.52. Perfect. And let's go to, yeah, I think it's time for his personal spending. Okay. So for his spending, he has 20 plus 25, 11, and 11. 20, 40, 60, 70. So we're going to do 70 again. And then I'm actually going to move over these 2 5s so that I have more 5s to pull from. So 24, 60, 70. Let's add a random $3 somewhere to account for that. Bam. Just like that. Okay. And then our last 2 that we haven't filled out yet is from Mother's Day and car. So we might officially be done with his binder, so I'm going to put it to the side. I can always bring it back. Let's get out Mother's Day. I know I'm definitely going to need change for that. It's right here. Okay, so the Mother's Day on his card was $30, so we're gonna need 70 and change, so 50, and I think I'm gonna unstuff this anyway, but just in case, 50, 70, wait, that's a bad 20, I have a better one. Here. Just in case I still need to put that 20 somewhere, I like to make sure I have nice and crispy bills as much as possible. Okay, but I know we're coming back into Mother's Day. So I don't know why I wrote that. That's fine. And then we're gonna jump into my high priority binder. We're probably gonna end up staying here too because I need to unstuff some of my expenses next. So in car, it's 25. 10, 20, 25, give ourselves some change. It's technically 24, but we're just gonna add the extra 5, or add the extra 1. Okay. So let's go ahead and add this up. Okay, so $410 we're going to be paying back to Amex. Next, I'm going to do my Capital One Venture cards. There's very few purchases on here. I ended up actually paying this card off completely, so I just have to kind of replenish some of the money I used from my checking account for these purchases. So it's still at 0, but I was just like so close to the end, and I was like, I'll just use my checking account buffer, get that to a 0 balance. So let's go into P.O. Box. And we are going to pull out 98. So 50, 70, 90, 95, 100. 100 it is. So 50, 70, 90, 95, 100. And then I'll just do a check mark next to that. I think, oh my gosh, you know what I might have did by accident? Okay, on the Amex card, I think I counted these 4 that I've already filled in. So just to kind of make sure I don't do that again, I'm just going to do a check mark next to these ones. So I believe that was it because 35, 15, 10, 25 is 85. So 410 minus 85 is 325. So it might be 325. I might have messed that up. So if the final count is wrong, that's why. All right, and then we're gonna go into, oops, my low priority. Okay, let's go into Etsy, or my cash stuffing fund, technically. So that was, no, 28. So we'll do 30, and then it's just gonna have to be 30 because I have no singles yet. And I think I can actually handle that right now. So let me do that real quick. So in my dashboard challenge I just completed, this is going to be moving into my real estate and my Etsy shop fund somehow. I don't know what the denominations are yet, but I think what I want to do, just so that I have some singles, is turn in my singles into bigger bills. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're just going to do a 5 and a 10 for that. And we're going to figure that out during my cash condensing, which will be the video I post tomorrow. All right, so I handled the singles problem, and then we need to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold this last purchase off until I get to my Windom card, because that basically all comes out of my Etsy. So we'll come back to the sheet. Next, we're gonna go into my Chase Sapphire. So we're gonna go into high priority. I think the way that me and my boyfriend like to do it is I use my Chase Sapphire for like basically any purchase that I make, except for business purchases. And then he uses the Amex card because we like to fly Delta. So he uses that, racks up the miles. I use the Chase, rack up the points, turn it into miles. So we're both like, we had the option for United or Delta basically. So for bills, oh, actually all of this was unstuffed, but I need to unstuff $80 for my mom. I do pay her my phone bill. I didn't write that on here because I just give that to her. So I'm gonna put this to the side. So it's 80 bucks. All right, and then out of here we have miscellaneous and my personal spending. Okay, so let's go jump right back into miscellaneous. It's an 8 and a 2, so it's $10. I'm gonna move over 2 5s. So 8 and a 2. And then this is like, oh, okay, so these probably won't be able to be fully paid off until like next month. That's fine with me. I need to do something from Dollar Tree that I got, so we're gonna do a 10 and 2 5s. For 20. And then I had miscellaneous treats. I don't know how I'm gonna pay that yet. So I did do a bit of spending this month that needed to be done, but I didn't necessarily have the funds saved up for it, which is pretty rare for me, but it had to be done. So I think I have a feeling where I'm gonna pull that money out of. But for personal spending, let's see, I have 25 plus 9 plus 232 plus 134 plus 25 and 68. Okay, so wow, that is not being fully paid off at all. So let's go line by line and see what we can do here. So let's do 30 first. So 30, I don't know why I did it like that. 30 is gonna account for these 2 purchases here, and this will be 10. All right. And then I believe 134 I can pay off. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 10, 20, 30, 35. So 135, so that I got a massage. It was really great, but I need to pay it off. So that's gonna be 135. I have another spend down here for 25, so 10, 15, 20, and 25. All right, so that looks like that's all I'm gonna be able to take care of this month. I don't mind rolling these over into next month because I have a feeling I'm gonna use some of my saving challenges to take care of that stuff, so I don't really mind. I'm not a huge fan of rolling over like a balance on a credit card, but if it has to happen, it has to happen. We learn from it and we move on. So that's going to be rolled over for $232 and probably this miscellaneous charge as well. And then I have, let's see, I have an Etsy shop purchase from my business envelope. So I think, why don't we just get started on that? Not sure if I'll be able to pay off all of this because, oh wait, you know what I probably should do? Instead of doing it in my condensing, I should move over these funds now. So this is from my dashboard challenge. So I wanted to split this even Stevens between my real estate fund and my Etsy shop fund. But I have this $300 placeholder. I might just move 300 into my real estate, and then this should be 250, or sorry, 200. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 50, 70, 80, 90, 95, 200. So this 200 is going to go into my Etsy fund for my shop. So we're going to move this over here. All right, so now let's start the unstuffing with my Etsy shop supplies. And I'm just going to move this in the back. That's got to go into real estate. Then I'll just move that over online. I have a dashboard bucket in my Ally account for my dashboard savings challenge because it was taking me a little longer than I thought. So I'm just going to transfer that 300 from there into my real estate bucket. So that's why I'm just going to move over the placeholder. So I have $4 here and I have $7 in my Capital One. So that is 11. We're going to quickly take care of those and then move on to my last tracker. All right, so we have $11 exactly. So we unstuffed this and then this as well. So now we can calculate these trackers real quick before we move on to the last one. So 7 plus 30 plus 100 plus 30 equals 167 to checking. Okay, so super quickly, I forgot to check mark what I already unstuffed, so this number might be wrong, but hopefully it's not. All right, and then last we're gonna go into my Windom cards. So in Windom, I basically pay for gas and my Etsy shop fund, or my Etsy shop supplies, which I just changed into a bunch of different envelopes. So probably gonna reallocate that during the cash condensing, or maybe my next cash stuffing. So let's go ahead and add up how much we spent on our Etsy purchases. Okay, so 64. Obviously, it was a lot more. I do have a launch coming up, so I just haven't accounted for that yet because I want to wait for that a little bit. Obviously, when you put money into a shop and you're doing like a launch or something, that money that you have from the launch usually pays for your expenses. So that's why I'm waiting on that. So 50, 65. So 50, 60, and 5. We'll just add an extra $1 to probably this one. So here, I don't know why I did 745. I just did normal 7. And then I do have a new gas envelope. So that gas envelope just kind of carries the rollover cash that I have that I didn't spend in cash. I spent it on a card. So let me quickly put this 300 in there, and then we'll hit up that envelope super quick. Oh wow, this is gonna involve a lot of math. I'll take care of that during my condensing. Oh, you know what I totally could have unstuffed, which I might have to do real quick at the end of the video, is my vacation money. So I'll do that as well. Let me move on to my gas envelope before I forget. Okay. This will probably be really quick. Hopefully I have the funds needed for it. It's my first time doing a gas envelope, so we definitely already did that one, and then I think we already did this one. So I don't double count it, which I probably already will, so whatever. So looks like $28 is coming out of my checking account. I probably just didn't put it in the gas envelope. So 25 plus 30 is 55, which I think I only have 50. Okay, so I only have 50, so that's okay. We are just going to take off 5 for this. So 25 and then 25, $50, no big deal. Actually, you know what I might do? I might scratch that. This will probably be 30 because I'm gonna move over $5 from miscellaneous to cover that because that's what miscellaneous is for. Okay, so it's about $100. Pretty good, pretty good. Now I just want to unstuff a few more things before I do the final count. So let's take my handy dandy sticky note here. We're gonna jump to investment. So investment, I have $30. So invest $30. Annual fees, I did all I could, and then we're good here. I'll take care of any extra bills in my condensing video, like I said. All right, so the last envelopes, this is like Big Mama over here. So I have a lot of cash in here for my Bahamas vacation coming up, and I do have a Bahamas sinking fund, or like a bucket. So just to accrue a little bit of interest before we have to use that money. So I'm going to do Bahamas. So I think I'm officially going to move over the plane tickets money. So this is $200. Hotel. Oh, you know what? I should probably do a placeholder in here. I'm going to use my mini placeholder, my micro placeholder, I guess, to account for that. Do that to the side. Hotel, food. Let's see. So we have 500, or let's do this. 51, 52, 50, 70, 90, 300. So 51, 52, 50, 70, 90, 300. We're still not done with this food envelope yet, but that's okay. We'll be done with it probably in like 2 weeks. So let's do another micro placeholder for fun. 300. Just like that. Casino. 100, 50, 70, 90, 210, 230, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 96, 7, 8, 9, 300. So it's another 300. Oh my gosh. Okay. So 300 is going to move on in here. Okay, so plain food, I forgot to do. So that's 300. Casino, 300. Snacks and drinks, so 50, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Okay, yay. So I want to use Miss Finance's placeholder here since it's just 100. I want to try to put her placeholder in a different envelope as well. My envelopes are beat up, so just excuse them. They've been through something and I'm not sure what exactly. So snacks, 100. Gifts should be 75, 50, 20, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 75. So just to account for this, we'll do 25, and then do I have another 50? You know what? I'm just gonna keep this as cash. It'll be okay. And then miscellaneous should have 100. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I don't know why it was so hard to count that. I think one of these bills is like ripped. So we'll do another placeholder from Miss Finance. I'm gonna move over 100. All right, so finally this can pretty much close. I'm really happy about that. Okay, so we are all done with the unstuffing. I am actually running out of time. I do have to go to my MMA class, but I will go ahead and add all of this up and then do a count, and then I'll just write on the screen here, was I correct? Was I not? I promise I won't lie. So yeah, we're moving over all of this money into the bank. I have all my sheets to tell me where that money needs to go and my sticky notes to tell me what funds to put it in my high yield savings. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's unstuffing. Be sure to stay tuned for my condensing. You can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I love posting unstuffings, condensings, and more. So if you liked what you saw today, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!